Welcome to God's Way, YTVY. I'm Adolphina Shephard. This is my co-host Thomas Knight Templar.
Good evening, everyone.
As always, we have a fascinating new topic for you today and a couple of wonderful guests. We have Judy Kay here, psychic medium, and Jason Leininger, and he is going to be telling us all about Orgone-based healing. If you notice all these wonderful things sitting on the table here, we're going to be talking about these and what they do and anything else that's happening cosmically, galactically, globally. So we'll take it from there. So Judy, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a psychic medium. I have a gift that was given to me at birth. It is hereditary. It's from my mother's side, going back many generations, but it's also a God-given gift. And I believe that's one of the reasons that I was brought here in this lifetime, to help others. And I totally enjoy it. Okay. And thank you for having me here tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. We're always thrilled to have on really caliber guests that we've been having on for well, gee, we're in our 6th season now. Yeah, we're in our 6th season now, for heaven's sakes. But okay, so let's go over to Jason, and how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Again, my name is Jason. I'm an energy artist. I'm a healing facilitator, which I'll explain shortly. I have two amazing boys who are becoming young men. I've been in IT now for about 20 years, and I'm on a healing journey that has led me to this table.
Wonderful. Well, I've been fascinated with these for a long time. Now tell me, I know that some people will take small ones of these and they'll put them by, say, wire towers to help mitigate that energy. Do any of these do that?
Yes.
And of course, people aren't going to take something that costs a ton of money and throw them around all these different towers, because basically they're giveaways or throwaways, right?
I'll say in the industry, they're known as hand grenades.
Hand grenades.
And they're usually spray camouflage color. And it's really something that needs to be done, at home, because you can't really offer those types of things because they're to be thrown on private property.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, when you would just say you had high tension wire right behind your house, okay? You know that electronic energy is going to wind up pulling spirit energy in and causes a lot of different problems and health problems too. How many do you need to handle that?
Well,
and how would you know?
I think the best way to explain it is, there's two sides of this. There's a healing component and there's a protection component. Orgone-based items typically protect you from any energy that affects your well-being. And it's typically any energy that's man-made. Okay. So Wi-Fi, cell phones, radiation, pollution, so the high tension wires, chemtrails, whatever is happening that's affecting our natural resonance, our natural frequency, these items help to protect and shield you from it. It will take that energy and transmute it into a higher level energy. These are programmed to transmute all energy into love that's less than love. The idea is you want to turn it into love. Now we also create that energy with our words. So the concept is, if you, let's say you walk into a room after an argument. And you weren't there for the argument, but you could feel that tension in the room. It's going to take that lesser energy, it's going to draw it in, and it's going to clean it. It's going to remove it, and it's going to just purify. And Orgone, just a fancy name for life force energy.
Life force energy, yeah. If you have a house that's a 10-room house, do you recommend 1 or 2 in every room?
For the protection, yes, and it also I'll talk about the healing in a little bit. But so something like this size, which is what, 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Yeah. This is good for if you want to protect yourself from a work environment, say in front of a desk with a computer, any sort of electronics on your nightstand, maybe between you and any sort of clock, radio, or anything. So this is good for your immediate personal area. Where something along this size would be good for a decent sized apartment, maybe a very small house. They work exponentially, so as they get bigger, they cover much more room.
So they go past walls and things like that. So it would do a whole apartment.
This size will actually you're gifting that energy to the whole neighborhood. And it's not just for humans, it's for pets, so any animals, plants, anything with a consciousness.
Now, do these also do on different floors of the house? So it's not just a ranch or on some, what was that size
It's creating a very
again?
large bubble,
Okay.
and then the larger the piece, the larger the bubble will
And
be.
it would go for like, say, 3 floors of someone's home or something?
Would this be best to like say put in a basement so that it would go upward or in
Something
the
like that is
first
so
floor?
big that you could put it wherever you'd like.
Okay, so the energy will go downward too, even though it
Think
points
about
upward.
it, just,
Well,
it
make
will
the
just
bubble,
expand in
like
all
you said,
directions.
Just encompass the whole house.
Huh.
I had a question. I just forgot.
While you're thinking of that one, if you had, and because I do work with hauntings and different things like that, and a lot of times it's not the house, it's the area. Now, one that size would, did you say it would do like the whole block or a neighborhood?
It's an entire neighborhood.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That would be very helpful. Okay.
That would neutralize the energy of the spirit.
Absolutely. Okay, good to know.
Now, I liked one of the things you said, how it converts it into the vibration of love, the love energy, because love is the highest vibration on earth and elsewhere.
By doing that, by converting it, when you're creating this, do you make that, as you're making it, that's your intention that it's going to be, you know, as
So
you're doing it?
when it comes to the protection, it was discovered by a scientist in the 1940s. He was kind of carted away as, you know, being,
Eccentric.
yeah. His work, he actually, Freud was involved in his work, and after he was taken away, Freud continued, and then some other co-workers with Freud continued the research. He actually created a machine, a device that apparently was healing people from very, you know, diseases. The problem with his device is that there's good Orgone energy and bad Orgone energy. So the bad Orgone energy is what I just talked about. All that man-made stuff that's in our environment that is affecting our natural residents.
So what he created was created.
So he didn't know at the time. So he was, you know, he might be curing, you know, this is all hearsay obviously, but, you know, he might have been curing cancer, but maybe he was giving you
Leukemia.
Yeah, you know, it was, you know, taking one and then the other.
Okay.
So I think it was a couple in the 70s created this. It was based on the Orgone field, and it was found that when you put it in this combination, and it's a very simple recipe where it's crystals, stones, metals, and resin. After that, anything organic can be added. So to create the protection, you really can just follow a recipe to a point and create that protection. The work I'm doing is channeled work where I'm being shown and directed to make items that are tools. And they're tools for ascension and for healing, and they're tools for healers. So these are two-sided. So I call these Orgone-based healing tools.
So basically, you could create something by channeling who's ever going to tell you which way to go with it to help somebody, say, in a love relationship that's gone bad, or in somebody who's I don't know, maybe mentally disturbed.
It's to heal on all levels: physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. And you know, one thing to look at. So people, you know, some people are very familiar with crystals and stones, and everyone kind of knows that maybe like rose quartz is love. So I get asked all the time, you know, does this, you know, is this going to emanate love because there's rose quartz in there? Look at it as cooking. So everything's an ingredient. I'm taking individual energies and creating a new energy based on what I'm being asked to make from my crew, as I call them, or whatever I want to make. For example, I call this a grounding rod, and this is to ground your energy to the earth. So when you not ground it, you feel very confused. You might be running around like, you know, running around with a chicken without a head type of idea. I was told one day, I was driving home from work, and I got that I would make a grounding rod. I said, that's great, what is it? And the next day I made this. Now I'm combining all these different frequencies, because everything's vibration, everything's frequency. So frequency can be shape, it can be color, it could be whatever's emanating from a material that I'm using.
Would it be an
So it's
earthbound
used on,
material, like maybe a piece of coal or something?
as long as it's, you know, it's funny, it has to be organic, even though, you know, epoxy resin is not organic,
No.
which I kind of find funny. But what I understand from it is that when you're putting a stone or a crystal in a resin, you're surrounding it with equal pressure. So where do crystals and stones form?
In the ground.
In the ground under mass amounts of pressures for thousands, millions of years. So in a way, they're sort of back in their natural habitat. So they're able to, their frequencies change when they're now in the resin.
Now, one of my favorites here on the table is, and it looks to me like a little Stonehenge-y type thing here in the center, which I'm totally loving. Yeah. Now, what was the basis around that one? What's that to be used for?
That is used for by healers. And what it's doing is if energy workers are removing energy from a person's field or their body, they are trained to move it or give it to the earth. And the earth takes that energy and transmutes it. You know, the philosophy is that the earth is doing enough and struggling as it is with all that we're doing to it. So I was asked to make a device that removes energy from this plane altogether. So that piece actually takes the energy, removes it to another dimension, however you want to put it, and is transmuted.
Now, do you activate these, or do you, so when you want to do work, you would say activate and kind of touch it?
Once I actually, yeah. So it's a form of alchemy. It's because I'm taking different items. Cooking's alchemy. Anytime you
Of
take
course,
different
yeah.
ingredients and create something different from it, it's alchemy.
Okay.
During the process of that, yes, there is. You know, they go into I also make large copper pyramids, and they sit in there, and the intention is automatic unless it's something new that I've never made before. I'll make one of those a month maybe. So it's automatic that that's what it is. It's already known. The universe is well aware that's my intention, and the activation is done once it's removed from the pyramid.
The
You know-
inscription on this,
It's called, it's a form of sacred geometry, and it's called Metatron's cube.
that sounds good. I recognize that. See it here? It says?
Yeah. Well, you,
I know you can't see that from there, guys.
yeah.
Well,
But you
so-
know, I've noticed that when you hold a crystal, and let's just say you're holding a crystal, and then you say activate to it, it comes on full blast. Like I can feel a crystal when it's just sitting there, but when I activate it, it turns on and it magnifies so much more. And that's why I was wondering. So what would you do to turn it on, or is just when you made it, the intention in it, that it knows when you sit in that copper pyramid, it should turn on?
It's all different, because there's other things going on. I'm downloading, I don't know if this is too much, but activations and codes that are channeled through me. And I do have what I would call, this is an Ankh, and this was an alchemist's staff. And they would use this to set the intentions and to activate, program, whatever it is that they're making. So I do have a very large one. It's a copper one that I've made that I use during those times. But a lot of it's just, it's really just intention, and there's a lot, it's made in a sacred space that's high, very high energy, and a lot of this, of the energy infusion is done by my crew, and I know if I put it in the pyramid, it's being charged and activated. So a lot of it's done in a way for me.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Prior to creating this here and getting into this field, what led you to this?
I had my what I'd call my spiritual awakening
epiphany?
about 7 years ago,
Okay.
where I was just living a very difficult life,
Okay.
and after a series of emotional traumas, I decided that it was time to get to get my life in order, and I started meditating and reading self-help books. And one morning I woke up and I was clairvoyant. So that was really the start of it, and suddenly I had this sudden urge to do something creative. I've never done anything creative or artsy in my life. I tried
This
music.
is obviously you have an eye for it. This is
Absolutely.
beautiful.
I tried music, and then I was craving. I had to find a creative outlet of some sort, and I came across this on the internet, and I said, well, I could do that, and I think I can make them, I want to make them look different. And
The general ones that I've seen before online, I'm telling you, compared to this, this is beautiful.
Yeah, these are pieces of art, really.
This is actually like a Van Gogh as compared to like Mad Magazine.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, I mean, you
That's
have
the
to
most
see-
interesting, best comment I've ever got.
You see, you've been clairvoyant since you were a child. So you were born into
Yes.
the family business, more or less. You might
Well,
say.
they didn't do it professionally because that was looked down upon.
The one with Brujas?
No.
Okay.
It was, don't tell the kids at school, we know.
Don't worry, she's not really strange. No, she just walks funny. Anyway, this here, what you're seeing here,
Uh-huh.
okay, as a clairvoyant, are you getting anything from this?
You know what? It's really
Is something drawing you?
well, yes, but here's the thing. Jason, and Adolphina, we do a lot of expos together. We do. And a lot of the times, my table where I'm doing my readings is right next to Jason's table with all his beautiful things. And until I sat here tonight, I didn't understand this because I never was actually free enough to sit and have a conversation with you about it.
I've
But
been really busy.
I was.
You sit right next to Jason.
More her than me.
But the whole thing is, Jason, I'm loving these, totally loving these. The energy is amazing. The artwork, and you said you didn't do anything artsy before this, it's over the top, beautiful.
Thank you. I have a hard time being called an artist. You know, my sister went to art school. My sister sells paintings in galleries. She has earned the stripes of artist. So it took a long time. People say, "Oh, who's the artist that did this?" I'm like, "I'm not an artist. I just goof around in a workshop."
Yeah, but you see, that's a God-given art
yeah.
right here. I mean, you know.
This is not goofing around. I mean, when I look at that thing over there, it reminds me when I was a kid, my mother had that bottle of Galliano.
Oh,
And it looks like a giant bottle of Galliano, you know? I mean, what is that one for?
This one right here?
Yeah.
This is interesting. So this is a little honesty. So sometimes I make things and I just don't like the way they look. Maybe energetically.
like the way that looks?
Well, no. So you're not seeing the whole picture though.
Okay. I didn't-
So this was actually, looked very similar maybe to this. And something happened to it. Either the resin didn't cure right, or what happens, I do them in layers and a lot of times and upside down, and something like this is many layers, and I get confused what I started with, and then I realize like it's just, to me it's not attractive.
But were you being guided to rehab?
Well, I said I need a way,
rehab this?
the materials I use are very expensive, and let's say I do that, and next thing you know, I don't want to, take it out of the house. I needed a way to repackage some of these things that I could make it interesting again and pass my own Lipton's test. And this is what I got. So what I do is, I told you before, when the ingredients go in, their individual energy is creating a new energy. But when they're outside, that's not the case. So citrine is abundance and manifestation. So this is a manifestation tower. And the product in it is actually magnifying that power. So you take a piece of paper, write down your intention, and anytime you ask for something from the universe, it has to be in your highest good. You can't just, like, as we were talking before, you just can't ask
for lotto.
No, you can, but it doesn't mean you're going to get it. So if you ask for something reasonable that actually will serve your highest purpose, you write down a piece of paper and you place it there, and you do it maybe during a new moon into the full moon, and watch what happens.
So you say there's something in the course of time between the energies of the moon and stuff like this, better times to do it?
Of course, as much, the universe has all these
Quirks.
not necessarily quirks, but they have all these things. There's herbs and anything from nature that are here to assist us. A lot of these things aren't here by accident. Crystals and stones is a great example of what they're here to assist humanity. And the universe and the planets and the sun and the moon do the same. So as much help as you can get. Hey, if you're gonna have paint your house and you're gonna invite some friends over, you're gonna invite one friend or you're gonna invite 5 friends.
Cost me $3,000. I'm not inviting nobody anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you a lot of beer, but your house will get painted real quick.
Well, they missed a spot over here. They missed a spot over there. Do you think they could paint that? Please.
Well, new moons are good for intentions, especially.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You say your intention, but the whole thing is, I like the different purposes of, like, see, I love citrines. It happens, that's part of a topaz. Yellow topaz is my birthstone.
Golden topaz.
And that's in the same family with that.
Yep.
So, that seems to attract me. I don't know what it is, something about it.
Very
that,
nice, yeah.
It's a very attractive piece. It looks like something, I can't put my finger on it. The Galliano bottles keeps on coming back.
Remember people used to fill them with pennies after they finished the Galliano?
See, I used to wonder how they got that little sugar tree on the inside.
Sugar tree.
There was like this little tree inside the bottle of Galliano. It had looked like sugar crystals.
Oh.
I never noticed
I
that
didn't get
one.
that
Me
either.
either.
I was too busy drinking it.
That's
why.
right.
We had to
That's
empty
right.
it so we could fill it with pennies. What was that, in the 70s? I think it was
I was in the
70s.
60s when I remember.
Heck, my penny drawers are more like
I was
this
only
big.
2 when I did that. Okay.
Me too, okay.
Now I have a question about this one. We were starting to talk about it, but then we figured we'd save it for the show.
Sure.
So now tell me again about this and tell everybody else about
That is a great example about the power of intention. So this, I said, this is a grounding rod. So I have limited this device in a very large way. I'm saying, you ground, that's it. It's funny, not everything is always given to me. They like me to ask what would I like to make, but this was given to me and that was given to me. Now this one is called Infinite Possibilities. And crystals and stones holds consciousness, beings, however you want to put it. There's a form of consciousness and some are higher than others. And all these different forms of consciousness are here to assist us. They're all here of service. This is a habitat, let's say, for lack of a better term, for what would be a master guide. So an energy can come and present itself within this device. And as you are on the path of ascension, as we're healing ourselves, as we're rising in vibration, that means that we have to heal all the traumas and all the heartache and all the things, and we need to know the best moves to make. We have our free will, but they will help guide us to our highest good. And you work with this, and I guess you can look at it as a channeling tool in a way, but if you're able to connect with crystals and stones, these devices will talk your ear off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we learned, Tommy and I, on 9/11, how much it's true. When you transmute something, we learned whether it's positive energy, negative energy, or beings that are so evil that God says, okay, I'm not going to let you go forward. You got to go back to the beginning, and they go into elements. So then that means that the metal is an element, water is an element, earth is an element, crystals are elements, and so and there are such a thing as people may not know it about recorder crystals, where there's, like you were saying, and that crystal has a consciousness. And lots of times they are ancient beings, and you can tap into that and they will give you messages. Because a lot of these beings, let's say they're 1 billion years old, they go into an element. Heck, they got a heck of a history to tell you, know? And I mean, I don't think they have infinite knowledge, but they have a lot of knowledge. So I get it entirely. And each one, I would think, would have, since it has different elements, you're putting it together to create a whole new element, all combined.
Jason, pick that
Yeah.
one up again.
This one?
Yeah.
Would you like to hold it?
I hear it.
What's it
it saying?
saying?
It's not saying, it's a high frequency
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
pitch.
vibrating type
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, you can certainly, a lot of the, even crystals and stones, but a lot of these pieces, if you put it to your ear, you will hear what, to me, it sounds more like turbulence. Kind of the same, maybe something similar as if you're putting a shell.
High frequency pitch.
Right,
You know
I was
what
just thinking that.
Well, it's
reminds
vibration,
me-
it's high vibration, and they do emit frequency.
When,
It got stronger when you held it.
when somebody has a microphone and they turn it towards the speaker,
Yeah.
and it gets that, is that what you're hearing?
Feedback,
Yeah,
feedback, okay.
that's what it
My
sounds like
ears
to
are
me.
bothering me
It
already.
sounds like that feedback. It's just so energized and so
It's
powerful.
confirmation.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one here is for what again?
This one?
Yeah. That's for manifesting.
No, it's just for moving ahead. It's for healing. It's for guidance.
Okay.
It's to assist you on the path of life.
He said infinite possibilities. In other words, it has many, many, many
As you
different things
grow,
it can do.
A lot of things, grounding you can always use. But there's things that, you kind of outgrow. There's things that maybe, you have, you absorbed whatever knowledge or whatever lesson that it was there to teach you, and it moves on. This will never have that happen. It will evolve as you evolve.
Can you pass that down? Because the energy is so strong.
Does that have something to do with it
No.
having a copper tube? Because I
It's
know
scary
people
nice.
will ground
It is.
copper
No,
tube.
it's like unusual.
It's scary.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a second.
It's
Yeah.
so strong. Unbelievable. Very nice.
So I'm always drawn to anything
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
pyramid.
Wow.
as you
And
can
inside that tube is different crystals and stones.
Oh, is that what it
Yeah,
is
so whenever
too?
any of my work where
Okay.
there's a tube, an
Uh-huh.
exposed tube, they're never hollow. They have what I call a matrix. So,
Wow.
this is let's call a recipe. This is the grounding rod matrix. That inside that pipe is the infinite possibilities matrix. So
wow.
there are different combinations you know, the large copper pyramids, meditation pyramids, portals that I make.
Singing like crazy.
Oh yeah, watch how you point that at, right? The energy goes zip through you, right?
It is.
Don't worry, I'm only bleeding from the spleen.
It is so powerful, and it's all good. It feels all good, and it's wonderful.
Now, isn't copper used sometimes to ground properties or
You know,
grid
It's a
it?
conductor.
Yeah, it's a conductor, but in my mind, it's also, I don't know if I explained this properly, but it's kind of like flour. It's the ultimate
It's the base of the
filler,
rest.
stretcher, whatever you want to put it. You know, it works well with all the energies. It doesn't take from it. It certainly adds to it, but copper is like, I would call it neutral.
Yeah.
So then,
It's a conductor, and I can see that from the copper filings that are in here.
All the metals are conductors in some way.
Copper in particular.
Yeah, and
Gold
I use
is another one. Well, I'm not going to see you put all this.
no,
in
actually,
gold.
titanium is the best.
really?
And I actually do have some pieces. I don't have any here with titanium. Actually, that ball around top of here is a titanium. It's a titanium sphere. Titanium. There was a book that came out in the 70s. You know, I had the guy's name when I was driving here, and I can't remember it. It was called Pyramid Power, and it was all the rage, and everybody was making
Everybody
pyramids.
Put pyramids over their bottles of milk and leave them alone.
He's still around. I wish I could remember his name. It's failing me right now, but he makes pyramids and stuff, and he's the one that really started to go. That copper's great, but if you could afford it, titanium, you know, blows your mind. And there's been some times where I've been finding titanium that's actually, because copper's not cheap anymore.
No.
So sometimes I find titanium just at the same price as copper.
If you're gonna, does it? I don't want to say does size matter, but does all right, keep it out of the gutter. Okay.
said it.
It does, don't make me say this on TV. Does size matter?
Yeah, as far as the strength of it, especially in these. So, you know, I make specific use tools, not so much. But these, sure. I mean, but if you live in an average size home, and for whatever reason you are interested in gifting this energy to others, then this would be all you need. So yes and no.
All right, just say I had that pyramid there.
The big one, this one,
This one here.
this one.
This one right here?
Yep.
And obviously, there's energy on it that's yours from the Creator. You created it, and the guidance from angels and spirit beings that you got in there. And then I have it, but I want to gift it to say Kathy out there in the audience. Okay, do I have to clear that first of my energy?
Not necessarily. Some of these vibrates at such a high level that nothing can really stick to
sticks
them.
to it,
That
Teflon.
yeah, it's too much. It's sort of like I don't know. I don't have a
Beyond
good.
reproach.
I don't have sort of sure. I always tell people though, if you feel that it needs to be cleared, clear it. There's no harm in clearing. It's, you know, good practice to clear everything you can, but so
should clear
it doesn't
everything.
necessarily need to be cleared, but you should clear it. And to charge it, I always tell people that these prefer, my work for whatever reason prefers moonlight. They don't like direct sunlight.
But the actual things we're looking at don't like to be in direct sunlight?
It will mess with the surface. It will fade it over time. But yeah, there's something. I believe there's some solar energy that's built in that I'm working with. But for whatever reason, to balance it, it prefers to be put in the moonlight.
So these things don't absorb. What they do
Well-
is release. So you were talking about other people's energy.
They
for a person.
transmute.
They transmute. Okay.
So they're drawing, and they're also permeating that the healing energy that it creates. So some of this is what I look at as a healing modality, and the energies are being charged and radiating out of the devices. So that's how the healing aspect is working. Where the other part, it's bringing the energy in, transmuting it, and putting it back out, all free of lesser, lower energies.
So it's like
So it's,
cleaning.
yeah, it's taking what we do and then cleaning it and then sending out positive energy. That's good.
Very nice.
So now you had talked about a scientist created this, and it sounds like,
Willem Reich.
what's his name?
Willem Reich.
And how long ago was
In
that?
the 1940s. No, he's the one that discovered what they call the Orgone field.
Oh,
It was a couple in the 70s, I believe, that came up with this way of working with the Orgone and the Orgone field.
So really, it's not as new as we would think it is, and yet I bet almost 100% of people watching screen, this TV show, will not realize that this is that old. They'll think, oh, this is something brand
Well,
new.
it's interesting. I find the younger crowd, younger generations, below, behind me, they're well aware of it.
Oh, yeah?
And west of the Mississippi, the West Coast, but I also found out, I believe it's in India or one of those countries where I've met people. They said this is from childhood. They always have these.
Really?
They have these in their
God.
homes for
Really?
hundreds, 100 years now, because it does offer a level of protection that it's hard to find.
Yeah, and especially with all the wireless technology we have now, I mean,
Every place you look.
right, you don't even know how it's infiltrating your house between the phones, the TVs, the computers.
And people
Right,
also
yeah.
complain about the smart meters. Apparently, a lot of people
Yes.
have a lot. They can, they feel their meters, and this helps to
Yeah.
stop that from happening.
Like sometimes you don't even have your you'll have your cell phone on you, and sometimes you actually feel the cell phone vibrate, and it's not a
not there.
message. No.
It's not even there. I don't
No,
even have it
so
on me
I
and it
mean,
does
it's
it.
residue that we're holding in
Yeah.
from all those
right.
electronics.
I meet a lot of
Yeah.
people that are basically allergic to cell signal. It makes them
Mm-hmm.
feel
Wow.
ill, especially the newer, 4L, what are they called? The newer model phones are even worse for them.
This
Yeah.
one here that looks like, it looks like a
Jelly beans?
pyramid with like jelly beans on it. No, but I'm
it does, though.
I'm incredibly drawn to this. That thing and this. I don't. Maybe it's the little shapes on the outside that's doing it. You're right. It does look like Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
This
you
looks
know
like
what?
Giza.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be Giza. That's the actual angle of the Giza pyramid.
Right
It's
here?
52,
Oh, yeah?
52 degrees.
Oh, I was thinking more of the pyramid. It's a carrot, to tell you the truth. But yeah, all right.
Yeah.
These are more of
Doesn't it?
these are Nubian style pyramids. I don't remember the exact angle, but they're much higher. And the pyramids that I make, the copper pyramids, I make ones like this
Nubian
because they.
as in the people of.
It's just
the
called
Nubian
Nubian.
race?
I don't know the origins of it.
Nibiru.
Yeah,
to me,
that's
it's
what
much,
They
came
do
to
have-
my
it's
mind.
much more of
they
a
do have
galactic
pyramids
energy.
There. There are pyramids there.
Now, how about these
And
guys
maybe-
over here?
but,
They're
I
different
don't-
looking.
Those are
I've
new.
never
I just
seen
started making those in the last year, and the inspiration behind those was lotus flowers. I wanted to make something that emanated a lotus flower, which is like love, joy, and
Love,
peace.
love to life.
Who doesn't need more love, joy, and peace in their life?
They're
Well,
beautiful.
I could see these as somebody comes by doesn't know anything about this. Will see that and say, "This will look nice in my living room," and not know what it does.
Right.
I get asked a lot of their paperweights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good, that's a
That's one
nice
hell of a
paperweight.
paperweight.
I get
Yeah.
a little, that does bother me still, because it's more bothers me the fact that, what year is it? We don't work, like, who's working in where there's gusts of wind now that, everyone's
Who
air
works with
conditioning. Who needs a paperweight?
No, these are total newbies who have no idea, and that's our job, is to kind of educate them. But you know what? We don't know in-depth knowledge like you did. That's why I thought it would be so cool to have this on. This is the piece that really draws me. Let me put it so they can see it on the camera. Let's see, how can I hold this? Can you see this? It's kind of like a dagger. But this is actually used for, you want to explain it, but it's for a cord cutting in Archangel Michael,
Archangel
right?
Michael is the one that asked me to make that, and whenever it holds his energy. So if you're an energy worker and you're working on a client or yourself, the minute you pick up that, it's basically calling him in, and he's coming into work, and you ask what you need assistance with, and with that, typically it's emotional cord cutting or etheric
Clearing a
surgery
path.
if you have some sort of discordant energy within your energy field that helps to remove it. Very similar as wands would do, but the real thing with that is that Archangel Michael is coming to assist, where the wands and everything else, it's more melding with your own ability and guides and energy.
Well, I work with Archangel Michael a lot, especially if I do any dangerous type work. I would call, in, of course, Father God, Mother God, Jesus, Archangel Michael to gather his
The
people.
entourage.
Yeah, to call in the army, I
call in the troops.
Yeah, calling in the troops. I really like that myself. And this one, would this be good to wear in front of the computer, for instance? I don't know if everybody can see that, but you would
Well,
wear that?
My pendants are a little bit different, so they're not actually transmuting. What they're doing is blocking.
Oh,
So the pendants are putting a layer of protection around your aura, and the idea is that you're not giving your energy away, and you're not taking on anybody else's energy. So they're very useful and very popular with like nurses. If you work in an area where there's a lot of discordant energy, where there's a lot of lesser than energies, prisons, hospitals, even customer service. Like if you're in, face to face with people that are getting hostile or scared or fear, you don't want to take that energy on because we have enough stuff to deal with. Why have to deal with other people's stuff?
Especially if you're an empath, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. So this would be very helpful for some people, I'm
And you don't
sure.
necessarily have to wear it as long as it's within your field. So I have ones I put in my pockets.
You put them in your pockets. And it's funny too because when I first started working with crystals, I would use wands. And usually, typically, they're pointed on both ends, and unlike these. But I would use a wand, but it became so uncomfortable to hold all the time with the weight and so forth. So I wound up getting palm-held crystals, and they were perfect for the men to put in their pockets, perfect for you to hold on the palms, right? You probably have a couple with you, do you? Yeah,
I like
only bigger.
I like the flat stones. They fit in my pockets.
Right. So eventually, because I couldn't find enough of them for my students and for my friends and family, I wound up ordering them, and they would cut them perfect shape and size, and pass them out. So, but Jesus programs one set, and Mother Mary programs the other set.
The coil of copper
Yep.
in the amulet here, and in some of the other ones I see like up here, is that a receiver or is that a?
Yeah, very good question.
Is that a transponder?
If it's clockwise,
Yeah.
it's pushing energy forward. If it's counterclockwise, it's pushing energy back.
Oh, wow.
So this one here would be clockwise, wouldn't it?
Yes.
All right. So it's pushing energy back. So
It's
somebody's
pushing it out.
somebody's coming with their stuff.
It's just basically a shield. So it's think of it as an actual shield.
This is a stuff repeller.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't repel good stuff though.
Now, what does that flat thing over there do? What would you use that for?
So a lot of times I'm asked to make items that I don't know what they do, and it's really none of my business. So basically, I make something like this. I call these cosmic love codes, and this is made for somebody who the universe has not put us together yet. I make things all the time where people come up and they don't ask me anything about it. They just go,
I'll take
and I
that.
put it in a bag and I get,
Oh,
we
wait,
do the transaction.
Can I look at that closer?
I
Oh.
just like tonight, we're all drawn to a separate piece.
Yeah. Which piece do you like best?
The little Stonehenge.
Uh-huh.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
I like that too.
Very
So
nice.
they also have activation codes in them, downloads, things like that. So it's for if people on the ascension path, your higher self is directing what's required next for your path forward.
And then they'll
it's
be
all
sent.
Do you need to touch these if you're meditating?
Yeah, any of them can be held, and any of them can really be used on chakras. That helps to infuse it with life force energy, helps to remove any lesser than
What about,
energies you want to remove from your chakras.
Transmuting ancestral karmas and things like that.
It does clear cellular DNA, but it does take time. So something like that, you would put. I've had 4 of this size pyramids under my bed for many, many years. I just took them out. I had them in there probably 4 years solid. I just recently took them out, and it's my understanding that that's helping to repair that cellular DNA, which I believe where the ancestral energies reside. So it's helping to purge all that out
Oh, well,
aren't
that's
they,
good to
now
know.
with the ascension and everything, aren't they tweaking our DNA as we speak?
all the time.
Now,
And this benefits that?
Well, there's certain codes that either activations or a DNA. Well, all activations affect you on a DNA level. Some come from the cosmic core, some come from the sun, some come from the middle of the galaxy, and some are downloaded directly to you, and others are programmed into items like this. And some people hold those codes, and as you meet them in life, as you walk by them,
It's activated.
You're getting it. You're getting
Yeah.
you're getting a transfer, and no one's the wiser.
Yeah.
Are you able to see that when you, just meet people cold?
sometimes, not always. I mean, I do shut it off, or I'd be in an insane asylum
No,
by
I
now.
know. I
What-
can't be in crowds anymore.
Well, I'm so used to shutting it off, but sometimes it'll turn on and I'll do it, but I have to because it's so draining.
Yeah,
It'll drain you because you feel and you want to connect, and sometimes it's either not the right time, not the right place, or that will happen another time.
Well, that would be like channeling energy 24/7.
Yeah,
you
you
know
do
what I
have to
mean?
shut it off.
If you were doing as a healer, if you were doing healing work, that's sending energy
Feels good when I do that.
24/7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
sometimes
exhausting.
We'll be with, a group of people, and they'll introduce me, and they'll tell them what I do, and they'll go, "Do you see anything around me?" And I totally understand, and that is totally fine when people do that. I don't mind it. But the thing is, I can imagine how they feel because, oh my gosh, I got my chance, right? So, that's wonderful. But I have to be able to shut it off. And at times, can I just turn it on when I want to? Absolutely. But other times, there's things that I'm supposed to know. As you said, passing by somebody on the street, slam, bam, and you know. But it's a wonderful gift. I enjoy it
Well,
every
how
day.
many times does spirit come to you, like you don't even know the person, like somebody sitting across the room from you, and the spirit is really, really annoying because he wants you to go say something.
Then I do.
Your
I
Aunt
do.
Martha says,
Right.
give my regards to
Yeah.
Uncle Billy,
I've done that. One time my husband and I were someplace, and he's talking business with this man, and I'm sitting there, and I have his dead mother saying, "Tell him I said hi, tell him I said hi." So
Oh,
my
my.
husband had to walk out of the room for a minute, so I followed him, and I said, "Honey, his mother's driving me nuts. Do you mind?" Because it was a business conversation. And this man didn't know what I did. And I told him, and he goes, "So what does she look like?" And I said, he goes, "That's the outfit that she wore every day she had illness. And she constantly wore this one outfit that she liked."
Was it an old Italian woman?
Well, no, she wasn't Italian. But, sometimes when you do it spur of the moment, sometimes you have to watch what you say. Because I said, they always show me their hair. And I said, "She's got hair like this, but she doesn't do anything with it." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's my mother." And I went, "Oh, I should have said that." But he was happy because then he knew it was really
Then he knew he
hard.
was talking to his mother. When they validate and they say something that's absolutely like dead
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
that's when you like turn around and say, how could they possibly have known that?
Yeah.
But some I've seen these ones that have been on TV, in particular Teresa Caputo. But there's this guy, this young boy, he's out in California, and he just seems to be
His
dead
mother
on.
drives him around. I think I saw a snippet of the show.
A Hollywood medium or something like that?
Yeah.
And he went in. He was in there with one of the basketball players, John Sally. I mean, this guy's huge, and he's telling him stuff about a health food. He didn't even know this guy had a health food business. It was on the side, and his daughter's going to be going to college in Europe. So
How old is this guy?
this kid's going to be maybe anywhere between
17.
16 and 20.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I'd say,
younger.
I only saw it briefly, but I'd say he's probably in his 20s.
Oh,
But
uh-huh.
he's really good.
Maybe. Yeah,
Huh.
I only saw a little small.
19.
Yeah. Oh, he's 19. Yeah. But it's a good gift. And when and my loyalty always goes to the deceased. Even though the loyalty is also with my client, my loyalty has to go to the deceased because I'm the one that's speaking for them, that can communicate for them. So when they're pushing me a lot, I definitely do it right away.
I mean, did they ever make you say something that's really sounds crazy that you have to say to
Oh,
somebody?
okay. One time, this is good. I'm actually at the Mum Expo. It's a huge expo out in Allentown. And this lady's sitting with me, and she's probably maybe 5, 8 years older than me. And she's sitting there, and she goes, so I tell her what I see around her and everything like that. And I always ask them, what is it that you're looking for me? What part of your life? And she goes, well, I've retired from my job, and I want to know what my next career will be. I have something in mind, but I don't want to tell you. What do you think? And all I heard was puppets. Puppets. I'm like, oh, sweet Mary and Joseph. I cannot say puppets to this woman, because if I say puppets and I'm wrong, I am going to look so stupid. And I look at her and I said, give me a minute. And I'm like, please tell me something else. And they didn't. They kept saying puppets. So I thought, I have to go with it. And I looked at her, just like I'm looking at you, Jason. I said, I see puppets like marionettes. She goes, oh, thank God, that's what I've been wanting to do. Talk about a breath of relief on that one.
You talk about making it sound like you're nuts.
I
you
know, but I was, it wasn't me.
Puppets.
It wasn't me, that's right. It's the deceased and all my spirit guides and everyone that tells me the messages. They're never wrong. But sometimes you do have to say, please don't make me say puppets.
You probably felt so silly too, right?
I did, but then I nailed it and I was like, yes.
Yeah. Well, Judy is one of the wonderful psychic mediums who I'd like to have come on and do a medium gallery.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah,
enjoy
so
that.
she does this a lot at the expos, and people love it. They just love it. And she'll tune into the various people and be able, you know, somebody comes to her and we'll tell her what they want.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then depending on, I guess, how large the audience is, if you can give everybody a quick private message. I don't know if you do that.
Oh yeah, I do. I did 2 private messages before I came to this
Yeah.
today.
No, I mean in a group.
Okay, all
Like
right.
if you have a group of, say, 10, 20 people, do you usually have time to give a message to each one?
It depends on the time. I try to make sure because I just like I do gallery parties in homes, and I always put that not everyone is guaranteed a reading because
Right.
it's a timed event. But I do everything in my power to make sure if there's 2 or 3 people, even if I just go over and touch their hand and give them something, because I know how I would feel. I like, you know, if it was me. leaving
Yeah.
without something.
Well, and I guess it's ruled by the spirits coming through. You know, I mean, I'm sure they line up to get their message to their loved
Absolutely.
one, and then you know you have to pick who it is that's coming through first. You know, I would imagine you probably say something like, "Okay, appoint a gatekeeper one at a time." You know what I mean? One spirit talking to me at a time.
You know, that's true and everything. But what I see is the deceased loved ones that come in for clients.
Yeah.
The one that they want, like somebody could come here and think, oh, I want my father, I want my father. And actually, it could be an uncle or an aunt
Right.
that has something more important to say. That father will be here. But they are in such a state where even though they want to, you know, they want to come through, they will actually step aside and let the relative that really
Who
needs
has
to
a-
get
who
their
has a
message
better,
across
yeah,
first.
has a better
Yeah, so they
message.
do that. But when you do a gallery, yes, the squeaky wheel gets the message through.
I see that. I mean, I used to watch, he was on TV, John Edwards.
Oh, very good. Yeah, he's
And,
very
and
gifted.
look, I have nothing against the man. I just think that sometimes he could be a little brash. You know, he like, and walks away from the person. And I don't think, explain something to them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I would, he seems to me like a man with a very big heart and a very big gift. Something like that, I thought maybe had to do with the time of the show.
That's
and
what
they
I
only
think.
let him
That's
snip
what I would think it
and
is.
snipping. And he might have actually, I don't know after the show, hopefully he spoke with them later, I don't know.
Well, I probably did.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing's worse than getting a little message and not
You
getting
know,
the whole
this, when
thing.
you see these, like you see, what's her name, 36 Beauty.
Uh-huh.
You see her on it, she goes through this whole spiel, the big eyes, the whole thing. You know, it's like the whole, I don't know, sounds like the Brooklyn psychic when she's out there with, oh my God! You know,
It is a thick New York
I mean, it's
She is funny.
Yeah.
She's funny. It's a lot of shtick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you see this kid is over there doing it, and like, I mean, this kid gets emotional sometimes when people are crying over something.
Yeah.
He gets emotional with them, so it like tears at your heartstrings.
Right.
You know, and then like I said, you know, he's got a whole gallery full of people. You know, how can you possibly, you know, you're drawn in 20,000 different directions.
Yeah.
To do a gallery reading, it's a different way of using your gift than reading one person at a time, because you might see a crowd of people here, but with what we have a crowd of people here.
Right.
And then
That's
it's
different.
going like this, and we have to like almost tunnel them. And
Right.
it really, it's nice and it's wonderful. It's a little crazier with the galleries, but I love it.
When you're doing this, Jason, do you get that kind of thing where like spirit is really trying to get your attention?
Sure.
Tell them to buy this one. Tell them to get this one.
That's it. I don't hear like that, but you know, I've made things that they're showing me pictures of, and I have to, you know, copy it, or you know, I feel sensations sometimes. You know, maybe if you know, someone's offering me a bag of crystals,
Right.
and I'm like, I don't think I need that. And next thing you know, I feel this sensation going over my head, and I go, maybe I do.
I mean, could you make just like I love baseball. I've always been a baseball kid since, and I wanted one of these made in a baseball form.
Just a sphere?
That's it, yeah. But you know, maybe,
I've made those in the past.
That's what I'm saying. You know, is it a particular energy that goes into that, or is it what I need?
Yeah, well, it's you know, geometry, sacred geometry plays a role in all this. So, you know, you have 4 triangles and a square right here, where a sphere is just a circle. Not that there's anything wrong with just a circle, but it's one frequency to start with, one vibration. So yeah, it certainly can be made, and it's if it's a custom piece, yes, the intention's set to make something that will be in your best,
My best
highest
interest,
good.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do these items, when you said you had 4 of those, the one pyramid underneath your bed, do they ever weaken and need to be refreshed or replaced?
I would take them out like once a year, wash them, like literally because they'd be dusty,
Oh, okay, yeah,
and,
I bet, I
and then
guess
leave
so.
them out in a full moon.
Just one full moon?
Yeah,
And you're good,
and you
okay.
know that's see, I'm a little different. I live in a townhouse, and I work from home, so I'm around this stuff all the time. It does soak into your auric field. I could be away from this for probably years before it's depleted out of me. I mean, there's so much that's been built up. But for someone, you know, 4 might be too much for somebody who's
Sure.
you know, not prepared for it. You know, there's it's a frequency match because, like, even with the pendants sometimes have different stones in them. And I tell people, you know, think of them as shoes. I like to wear sneakers. You might like to wear heels. I could wear heels. It would be ridiculous and it would hurt, and I wouldn't be happy about it. But it could do it, but it might be uncomfortable. And they don't change frequency. They wait for you to change frequency. So if you're at a lower level energetically, within 3 or 4 days, you'll meet with it, and then that uncomfortableness of the heels will go away.
That makes total sense. Because the energy is unbelievable on the table. Absolutely.
I got a lot of people that come to the shows and they feel sick when they come into my booth, and I hand them this. Because their energy is
off
it's
the
just
ground.
like a electrical circuit. It's you know, 20 amps going through a 10 amp circuit.
Right.
You know, it's uncomfortable.
It's overwhelming.
So this helps to. So yeah, it's you need to be a vibrational match for it to really to help.
She's always telling me, Tom, you have to ground. you're about 2 feet off the ground. She's telling me, okay. So I go outside and I ground, you know, to Mother Earth, and I ground directly to heaven.
Hug a tree.
You know, and well, you can do that too.
Yeah, it's the easiest way.
You know, so I go outside and hug one of my trees. My neighbor's going to be making a phone call.
Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I don't always get to do it either.
So we're just about ready to wind down. So I did want to spend a brief moment because a lot of people are having symptoms of burning and itching, like they want to crawl out of their skin and hives and so forth. And if you're experiencing this, I just want to tell you it's the energy coming in, the new energy to push out the old. So don't worry about it. It will pass. I don't know exactly when, but I've had so many complaints from various people about this energy coming
talking
in.
about that today?
Yeah, I know. And I've gotten a lot of people emailing me, asking me, oh, I feel terrible. What's wrong? So I just wanted to mention that. So don't be too concerned if you got the itchies right now. It will go away soon. And we want to thank you, Jason, for all of your knowledge here. Your work is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Just beautiful.
You know, he looks like a professional glassware person.
Yeah.
Who makes glassware and blows it with the pipe there, and the way they do it is just so really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, I mean, that one, I think you said that was like a birthday cake or something, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I used to call that like the crystal bun cake, but yeah, this is very much.
Yeah, like a
it's a
birthday
quartz,
cake.
it's a quartz party.
Yeah. So, you know, there's just so much here, and I'm sure that the people have never seen, the bulk of people, anything like this,
Well,
so
you
we
guys are
really
gonna be
appreciate
at
it.
an expo coming up soon, right? In May, I think it is.
We're at the Mom Expo. We're in Hamburg.
Yeah.
That's,
Are you going to be there?
Yes.
April,
Okay.
I think 9th and 10th. It's the second weekend. Well, actually, I'm in Quakertown the first weekend of April, Hamburg the second weekend of April, and Mom is May 15th?
It's usually the
14th,
third
15th.
weekend, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
you know, you can come and talk to Jason directly, or Judy, or even
You wanna
myself,
find out-
because I'll be there
You'll
too.
be there with us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said,
Absolutely.
if you want to find out some information on this, just go to Adolphina's website and She'll post it, you will post the dates, right?
No, I usually don't do that, but that's why I mention it now.
On TV, you're going,
I mention it now, but I don't post the expos on there. But I don't know if maybe you can pick it up from Judy or Jason.
Yes, absolutely.
The different ones, but there are a lot. In spring, things start popping, you know, and things start waking up, and everybody starts working
well, there
and
will be
doing
an
this.
expo.
And
Where it's going to be,
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere. All
yeah,
over
that's
Pennsylvania.
right.
Are we
All the
gonna wind this up,
mind,
so-
body, spirit expos is what I should
Yeah.
say.
We'd
Yeah.
like to thank our crew for being here all the time. We put out an excellent product. And our facilities here at CTV, and our sponsors, Antonio Pork Store in Tottenville, and Aardvark Pest Control in Great Kills.
And Judy Kay for being here.
Thanks for having me. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
And the Company of Heaven, naturally, and they're always here with us. And of course, the Divine, you know, so we want to thank them too, and our studio guest, and CTV.
And CTV.
And CTV.
Time Warner.
Yep. So catch up with us. Next session, we're going to have the next TV show will be about crystals and the use of how we use crystals in healing and many other uses. And we have a wonderful guy coming on, Peter Jarvis.
Oh.
Yeah,
He's a
and so
wonderful
he's
man.
going to come on, and perhaps his significant other. We shall see.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we shall
Okay.
see. So that'll do it. So
let's wrap it up.
bye-bye, and see you next time. See you next time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.